Okay, so behind all of these pictures, somewhere, is a picture of a mountain. And it's Parkinson Mountain, which is a ski hill that lies about 2 miles above my home at about 8,000 feet. Every year, for as long as I can remember, the ski hill has been fully functioning by mid-October. We have had several snowfalls in Los Alamos, and I just love the winter because everyone comes together in from the snow, and it's really amazing and incredible time of year. However, in the last few years, we have been getting less and less snow. The picture was taken a little over a week ago, and it shows the very first snowfall of the season. It was very small. It only covered the top of the mountain, and it melted in just a couple of hours. Because of the reduced snowfall in the mountains around New Mexico, wildfires have been increasing at an alarming rate. The amount of runoff from the mountains really makes a difference in such a dry climate. And so without any of the water wetting the trees, fires can start easily on the dry timber. So look at our planet today. Many things have begun to happen just like in my mountain because of climate change. Traffic, polluted waters, smog, everything around us is toxic right now, and no one really seems to be doing anything about it. Or at least so I thought. Before Project Green Challenge, I was like millions of other people across the world. I ignored these problems because I didn't think that there was anything I could do. I lacked the tools, I lacked the resources, I lacked the knowledge, and I felt hopeless. I didn't think that I could make a difference as one individual person. But something happened at the end of the summer that shifted my paradigm. I read a blog written by someone from Rhode Island. It was called The No Trash Project, and Colleen Doyle wrote it from Rhode Island, and it was about her journey from conventional to conscious and how she became more zero waste. And it showed me that there were people out there that were incredibly passionate about what they were doing, and they were trying to make a big difference in the world. And I decided that I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be passionate. I wanted to be dedicated to something. And the environment seemed like a good place to do that. It seemed like the only logical place to do that. There's an old saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When I was ready to change my life, Project Green Challenge appeared. It happened one day in Eco Club. I wasn't even there. Someone came up and they said that there was this online challenge that we might like to sign up for. Cool. So I signed up with a couple of my friends, and I didn't expect to do much. I didn't even know what it was about. Little did I know then that this was the start of an immense period of growth and change in my life. Okay, this one is super messed up too. I'm sorry, I uploaded it on Google Drive, and it must have not worked with this platform. But over the course of Project Green Challenge, I realized that the main thing that we need to learn about our environment is that it's more of a process of cause and effect, of sourcing and production. Everything that we get from the world, most generally, cannot be put back. My life requires about 4.2 worlds if everyone lived like me. Through Project Green Challenge, we looked at the amount of consumption that we had. We looked at the way we produced trash, used water, and the toxic chemicals in all of our products. And we realized that everything that we did on a daily basis, these little actions, had so much of an impact beyond what we could have even considered. I dedicated myself to learning about how we could do better. And the thing that I figured out is that mostly, you just have to make sure that you don't let anything into your life that isn't going to create the world that you want. How can you do this, you ask? You can make sure that all of your products are sustainable, ethical, fair trade, that they help other people and not just you. And you can make sure that you reduce your waste and live with only the essentials. When we take less out of our environment, there's more that remains there for other people to use in the future. As I went through PGC, I realized that I was doing this in the concept, in the frame of a whole community with my friends. Hold on. There's a slide missing there. And my eco club, I realized that there were so many people around me that were seeing what I was doing and that they were change makers too. Well, when I shared stuff on social media, I thought that people wouldn't look at it. But people would come up to me after I shared things, and they would say, "Kevin, this is so cool what you're doing, tell me more about it." And I thought that was so interesting. I had no idea that people would look at what I was doing and learn from that. And so I realized that when you do things, other people begin to take notice, and you can be an example to them. As I went through Project Green Challenge, I realized that this concept of interconnectivity and community didn't just apply to people, it applied to all of the things that I was learning about. These seemingly unrelated topics, soil, economics, fitness, they weren't unrelated at all. In fact, when you started to look at each one and the effects that they had on the planet, you couldn't segregate them at all. Food connected to Meatless Monday, which connected to organic footprint. You can't separate them. When you're trying to do certain things, it affects aspects of certain other topics. So when you're trying to affect different parts of your life, it all comes together and you have several impacts on the entire planet. So what can I do with this information that I have learned moving forward? I am going to make sure that I continue to affect change in my campus, in my county, and in my community. Already I have made great change in my campus due to PGC. Our Eco Club didn't used to be proactive. We didn't know what we were supposed to do with our limited resources. However, because of PGC, we were inspired to go to people in our campuses that had the power to enact change and inspire them to do so. We had the challenge to go and talk to people and tell them what they could do and ask them to do it. With the people that we have connected with on the campus, we can continue to make change. And already together, we have implemented a successful recycling program where there was none before, and we have begun to plant trees and flowers to ensure biodiversity on campus. Secondly, I can enact change in my county. Throughout Project Green Challenge, we received a lot of media attention. Over 4 articles were written about us in all 3 of the local papers, and so many of the people in the community came up and talked to me. Not only did it reach out to average citizens, it also reached out to people in positions of authority. I was interviewed by our local laboratory, and they asked me to come into their facility and do what I had done for my school, to analyze their energy use and come up with solutions to fix it and reduce their energy use because of an article that appeared in the local paper. And I will be starting on that job in January. Because of the other articles that were about what my team had done, we were invited to a county meeting in the future, and we are going to go there and we are going to present to them what we have learned and ask them to make changes. Lastly, I can continue to make changes in my community. As I go forward, I'll make sure that I keep posting everything I do on social media. I've mentioned before how rewarding it was that people came up to me and were so interested in what I was doing, and I hope that as I continue to make changes, they can continue to notice and I can continue to having meaningful connections with them. I want to close with a quote by E.F. Schumacher. He was an economist that believed that people were more important than the theory of growth or the policy of having more things as a means of economic well-being. He said that any intelligent fool can make things bigger, more complex, and more violent. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. If only we had adopted this policy which was set forth in the 1970s, we would be in such a better place today. I want to say that we can move together in the opposite direction, as long as we bring everyone else together with us in this challenge. And thank you.